French onion soup. This is what you're gonna need. We're gonna make this really quick because I hate to blabber. I mean, I love to talk, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure half of you are like, be quiet, show me how to cook it. So that's what we're gonna do. You're gonna need a red wine. I prefer a drinking wine because I like to drink a lot. Probably a little too much. Probably to the point where my liver doesn't like me, but it's just used to me by now. I'm just kidding, I don't drink that much. So red drinking wine, okay? It's gonna be a wine that pairs well with meat because this is a beef broth based soup. You're gonna need some really good cheese, either Gruyere cheese, which I prefer, or Provolone. For the video purposes, I'm using Provolone, and because that's all I have, and I'm not going to the store for Gruyere cheese. Another thing you need, French Baguette. You need the really thin ones because it's gonna fit into our cups that we put into the oven. If you don't have oven-safe plates, cups, or bowls, you can improvise, you know, put the cheese in, throw it in the microwave, whatever. Who's really gonna know? Nobody. Take a blowtorch, psst, I don't know, do something to it. Don't worry about it. This is not limiting you. If you don't have oven-safe bowls and stuff, like I said, take a torch to it, but if you don't have oven-safe bowls, you probably don't have a torch. Unless you like to burn stuff. Then you probably wouldn't be watching my video, you'd be burning stuff. Anyway, French onion soup, let's get it started. I'm gonna show you how it goes. And please, if you try this recipe, give me all the feedback that you want, all of it constructive, doesn't matter. If you didn't like it, fine. You did like it, even better, okay? So, I'm glad to be back, and I'm sorry for all the people wondering where I've been. I am back, and I promise I'll be consistent. And I do want to thank everyone who's shared my videos, who've left me positive feedback, who have tried my recipes and told me they love them. That means more to me than anything because it means I'm moving in the right direction, and it means that my food is good, and it means that I could probably keep doing this and become more successful at doing it as well. So, let's get started on the recipe. All right, so now this is how we start the soup. We take 4 tablespoons of salted butter, or unsalted, whatever you want to use. Now, you're going to use a mandolin to slice your onion slices really thin. You see how thin that is? Okay? You want to do that because it's going to be easy to get caramelized when they're all sliced very thinly. I'm just going to go up in there afterwards and break it up with my wooden spoon. Okay, so you see how thin those are? Ones that are still stuck together, I can go in there afterwards and kind of get those in here. Now, this is a 25-minute process, okay? If you want it to move a little quicker, you can cheat by adding some sugar in because that's going to caramelize the onions sooner. If you don't want to cheat and you want to wait, then you're going to have to wait for 25 minutes and not cry about it, okay? So, this may look like a lot of onions, but I promise you, because I use a whole 2-pound bag, okay? I promise you that these cook down and they get smaller, okay? So you don't want to skimp, and it may look like a lot now because it is, but once they cook down, they're going to get smaller. All right, so I'm adding in all my onions. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to add in some thyme as well. I'm going to put it in now so you can see it. Some sprigs of thyme, and then we're going to add in a bay leaf, and again, we have the butter. Now, I also have 4 cloves of garlic that I add in because garlic cooks so fast. I put it in probably in the last 3 or 4 minutes of cook time for the onions, so that this way we're not burning the garlic. Okay, so this is the next step. We're gonna put it on a low. I would say, you know how ovens have like 1 through 9? I would put it like a 2 or 3. You don't want these to burn. You don't want them to get crispy because we don't want crispy onions or burnt onions in our soup, right? So that's the process, okay? So I'm going to show you what they look like after they've been cooked down at the 25-minute mark. Alright, so the garlic is fully cooked through, and I promise you those onions are brown. I don't know why they're looking like so light in the video. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add in our cup of wine, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to bring it to a boil until it all evaporates and the onions are dry, okay? And then I'll show you what that looks like once that's done. Alright, so I just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like when it's cooking down, as you can see. I don't know, in this angle, now you can kind of see how the onions are a little caramelized. So I'm cooking them down, okay? We still have some ways to go. I would say this is like maybe a 7 or 8 minute process. Okay, so you want to get that to the point where the onions are dry because you don't want some of the alcohol to remain in. You want it all to evaporate. And once we do that, I'm going to put in about a heaping tablespoon of flour once these onions are dry. And why I do that is because sometimes French onion soup could be very brothy, and I don't really like the feeling of the water in my mouth, like a water consistency when I'm eating my French onion soup. I like it to be a little more thicker, not so thick like a cream soup, of course, because it's not a cream soup. But I don't want it to be watery, so I add in the flour to cook it down a little bit. But once you add in that tablespoon of flour, that's an additional 10 minutes of cooking time, because you want to make sure that you're taking the taste of the flour out by cooking it into the onions for about 10 minutes, okay? So the onion... Okay, so now I've added in my beef broth because the flour cooked out. And this is what you want to see. You want to see your onions separate once you get that beef broth in there, okay? Because it looked like a mush before. But I promise you that it's not a mush. And that's just the process, okay? So now I'm just going to bring this up to a boil, and then I'll show you what it looks like once I get it into the bowl, the next step, okay? So I'm going to just take this piece off here because I kind of just ripped the bread like an animal. So I put that aside. I'll eat it now. You want to go in there with your bread knife, and you want to cut them fairly thin, just like this, because you don't want it to get all thick and sogged up into the soup. So if you can see how thin that is, okay, we're going to take it lightly. Okay, you want to be very careful at this point. You don't want to put a lot of oil because you don't want your bread to be bringing oil into your soup, okay? It's very hard to see, but I promise you I'm putting some olive oil here. Now this is a light tasting olive oil. It's good for sauteing and marinating. That's the type you want. You want to lightly salt all of your bread because you definitely want seasoning in all layers of your soup. And then me, I like a little bit of more pepper than normal, so we're going to put some pepper on them. Okay, and it's going to give them some delicious flavor. And then you're going to put them in the oven at 300 degrees. And you're going to leave them there how long? I don't know. Everybody's oven's different. You're going to wait and see until they feel crispy. Then you can take them out, set them aside, and when your soup's ready, you have this all done. We're going to take one of our breads and try to fit maybe one more in there, and I have. So I like to put two on the bottom, and then I'm going to ladle the soup into my bowl. Let me try to bring this up here so that this way I'm not making a mess. Okay, we're going to ladle the soup in. You're going to fill up the bowl as much as you can, but you want to leave some space up on the top for the bread you're going to put on the top, okay? I put one more piece of bread on mine on the top because of course these are floating. You know, once you put liquid it's going to float. So, let's see here. Alright, I think I'm about done there. Yep. Alright, so we're going to get that one little piece of onion in. I like to put one or two more here up on the top. And then me, I like lots and lots of cheese on mine. Oops, some of the cheese fell inside. I mean, I'm talking lots. Hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'm putting all the cheese here on the top. Let me move this pot over now that I've ladled my soup so you can kind of see what I'm working with. Okay, can you see this? Ooh, it's hot. So as you can see, I like a lot of cheese in mine. Okay, you can put more on yours, less on yours, whatever you wish. I've only shredded enough provolone for me because I'm the only one eating this right now. And I'm going to put it on a sheet pan in the oven underneath a broiler. Not for long. Leave your door open so it doesn't burn. And please use caution when you take it out of the oven. It's going to be very hot. So we're just going to wait for it to get melted up on the top real nicely. Okay, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Alright, so here's the finished product. I like to have mine with a little bit of bread on the side as well. Apparently, I love bread. So let's get a spoon in here and see what it looks like. It's all melted. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yummy cheese. Look at how high that's going. Then underneath, we have our delicious soup and our bread. Tell me that doesn't look good. For anyone who loves French onion soup, you're having a little bit of a heart attack right now, okay? Anyone who loves it, especially with as much cheese as I do, you're in French onion soup heaven, okay? So if you try this recipe and you like it, please do me a favor, leave me some feedback, let me know how it came out, share my videos, watch my other videos, pass them along to your family, friends, whatever. And as always, I really, really appreciate everyone for watching, and thank you for your patience and waiting so long for this recipe. And I love all of you, and thanks. Bye.